The life of Jesus Christ. The birth of Jesus. Jesus Christ was born in Bethlehem to Mary and Joseph. His birth was humble, taking place in a stable because there was no room in the inn. Christians believe his birth was miraculous, as Mary was a virgin and his coming had been foretold by prophets long before. Angels announced his birth to shepherds, and wise men traveled from afar to honor him, recognizing him as a king. Early life and childhood. Jesus grew up in Nazareth, a small town in Galilee. His earthly father Joseph was a carpenter, and Jesus likely learned the same trade. Even as a child, he showed wisdom beyond his years. One famous story tells of him teaching in the temple at the age of 12, amazing religious leaders with his understanding. Preparation for ministry. Before beginning his public work, Jesus was baptized by John the Baptist in the Jordan River. This event marked the start of his mission. Afterward, he spent 40 days in the wilderness, fasting and resisting temptation. This period prepared him spiritually for the challenges ahead. Calling the disciples. Jesus began his ministry by calling ordinary people to follow him. These disciples included fishermen, a tax collector, and others from simple backgrounds. He invited them to learn from him and help spread his message. They would later become leaders of the early Christian movement. Teachings and parables. Jesus taught people about love, forgiveness, and the kingdom of God. He often used parables, simple stories with deep meanings, to explain spiritual truths. His teachings emphasized loving one's neighbor, helping the poor, and trusting in God. His message challenged traditional thinking and inspired many. Miracles and compassion. Jesus performed many miracles that demonstrated his divine authority. He healed the sick, gave sight to the blind, and even raised the dead. He fed thousands with only a few loaves of bread and fish. These acts showed not only his power, but also his deep compassion for people's suffering. Opposition and challenges. As Jesus' influence grew, he faced opposition from religious leaders who felt threatened by his teachings. They questioned his authority and criticized him for breaking certain traditions. Despite this, Jesus remained firm in his mission, continuing to teach truth and show love. The Last Supper. Before his death, Jesus shared a final meal with his disciples, known as the Last Supper. During this meal, he spoke about love, sacrifice, and the coming events. He broke bread and shared wine, symbolizing his body and blood, and asked his followers to remember him. Crucifixion and death. Jesus was arrested, tried, and sentenced to death by crucifixion. Though innocent, he accepted his fate without resistance. Christians believe his death was a sacrifice for the sins of humanity. He was crucified on a cross and died, and his body was placed in a tomb. Resurrection and legacy. 3 days after his death, Jesus rose from the dead. This resurrection is the cornerstone of Christian faith, symbolizing victory over sin and death. After appearing to his followers, he instructed them to spread his teachings to the world. His life and message continue to inspire billions, offering hope, love, and salvation.